smile crosses my lips. Philip arrives in a burst of cold, damp air, arms full of books on flight and air travel. "There you are, Lilibet." He plants a kiss on my cheek. "Yes, here I am." "This bloody fog is exasperating," he says. "Damned impossible to fly." "Dangerous, too." I frown as I walk to the window. The government has issued an instruction to the public to remain indoors as much as possible, but many have ignored the plea. There have already been a number of horrible accidents. I do hope it blows over soon. "They expect it to last until the end of the week, at least." He sighs as he drapes an arm around my shoulders. "Might as well get on with it then, I suppose." I look at him. "With what?" "Your speech, darling." My stomach cartwheels at the prospect of the message I am to deliver over the wireless on Christmas Day. I am far more nervous about it than I thought I would be. How truly awful it must have been for poor Papa every year as he tripped and stumbled over his words. Won't Tommy handle all of that?
Given half a chance, yes. He'd probably read out the bloody thing too.
"Philip," I scold, but I can't suppress a smile. My husband is wary of certain members of the household staff that I have inherited from my father.
"You must write your own message, before your private secretary puts words in your mouth. Say what you want to say, not what the establishment thinks you should say."
He's right, as usual. "Very well," I concede. "But perhaps a spot of lunch first. I work better on a full stomach. Speaking of which, I still need to decide on the Christmas menus for Sandringham."
"What's the decision? Powdered egg or spam? How many dishes will be comprised mostly of potato?"
I laugh. Rationing is still making formal meals and menus very tricky to plan. The kitchen staff certainly have their work cut out for them. I think we can do a little better than that. We have some new staff joining the Sandringham team, apparently. Maybe they will find something inventive to do with whatever supplies they can acquire. Philip laughs.
"Inventive? At Sandringham? I'm not sure they've even heard of the word. Anyway, come along. I'm famished."
But that is precisely what we all need to be now. Inventive. Traditions may lend us comfort, but as I look out again at the fog obscuring the view of London I know so well, I am also aware that traditions will have to change as we navigate our way through the unfamiliar path that lies ahead.
Chapter 1. Jack. London, December 1952. Sandringham. I stared at the word written on the kitchen calendar, circled with a heart, and smiled. Only one more week and we'd be there. I couldn't believe I'd soon be working in the royal kitchens for Christmas. Though a temporary position and a risk, I'd taken my wife's feverish encouragement to heart. It was a chance for a fresh start. A new world of possibilities, she'd said, with that effervescent enthusiasm of hers that I could never resist. I knew she was right. We'd both come to resent my dead-end position at Maison Jérôme, with little chance to move up, a poor salary, and a boss who berated me every time the chiffonade of herbs wasn't chopped to his liking. Andrea frequently reminded me that I was an excellent chef, and deserved much more. A head chef position, or better yet, my own restaurant. That was the ultimate dream. For now, if I did my best work for the royal family, perhaps a temporary position would become something more permanent, at least until the next door opened. I whistled merrily as I dipped a teaspoon into the rich gravy boiling on the stove, and scooped it into my mouth. It was as silky as it should be, with a fullness that meant I'd gotten the fat-to-flour ratio perfect. But it needed a healthy dash of black pepper. I never, ever skimped on the pepper. My grandpa taught me that. I smiled as I pictured him at the stove in his beloved restaurant back home in the French Quarter in New Orleans. It felt like only yesterday that we were cooking side by side, tasting another of his new dishes. I churned the pepper grinder over the pot, gave the gravy a good stirring, and turned off the burner. Sometimes it was hard to believe it had been 11 years since my beloved grandpa had passed away, and I'd left New Orleans, or that I had spent 7 years in London, married to the woman I loved, with the beginnings of a new dream. I glanced at Andrea. I had bent over a shoebox filled with postcards, letters, and photographs. Wrapped in a green woolen sweater...